Octogenarian brothers Ahmed Hussain and Afzal Hussain turn Santa Claus when it comes to telling stories of old Shillong. Their bags are overflowing with anecdotes about a city that is now busy severing its ties with history. Shillong was really beautiful in those days, says 86-year-old Ahmed Hussain. He narrates the story of a tiger that lived in the woods that covered the area where the civil hospital stands now. Every evening, the tiger waited for its prey near the hospital junction. None dared to cross the area after sunset. He also remembers the bungalow that came up later in the area. It had several eucalyptus trees.
The Shishir Kobita shooting was done over there. That is in 50s. So that is the things I remember, that beautiful bungalow before the civil hospital comes up. So that was it.
Also there was, I heard
Beg
from
pardon?
my father, I heard from my father, my father narrated the tale of this tiger, on that hill.
Lumpering Hill.
No, the hill upwards from St. Anthony's College.
Oh, St. Anthony's College,
Yeah,
yes.
there was a river flowing from there, and there would always be a tiger there, no?
Yes,
St.
yes.
Anthony's College,
Oh,
so people used to be very scared to walk
yes.
from there, no?
So this was the Shillong in those days. Beautiful Shillong. So that was the things in early days. There's such a beautiful place. And Long Round Road also, nobody used to go after the dark. And those who used to go over there, that is there for hunting the hares. Hares and other things, they used to go and hunt over there. In daytime you can go, but in daytime also it was not safe. So that was Long Round Road, you remember. Nowadays it is becoming very crowded. People are starting going there. So crowded. So one cannot imagine what it was here, Long Round Road.
The Hussain brothers have vivid memories of the harmony among various communities in Shillong and their cultural commingling. All the members of their family were musically gifted. They were also actively involved with drama and sports.
It was very nice because drama is started from a very long time. So my father, my grandfather, they are also one of the members of the drama company, Gitinatya Samaj. And actually Bengali dramas were the first drama. Afterwards, Kasi, they also got interest to play dramas, Assamese, Nepalese also. They used to play. And they have learned everything from Bengali. And till 1998, we tried to continue the drama. But after a while, everything was changed, so nobody took interest. This is the main problem. And in every puja, we used to stage drama. We staged drama at Jail Road Opera Hall. And people of Risbom, they used to stage drama there, puja time. Puja time means drama time. We took very much interest at that time. Change because this generation, they never took any interest, drama, music, etc. That is the main thing. I forgot the name of this Kashi Drama Club. They used to take advice from me, and I also helped them.
Why? What is the reason that suddenly the youngsters are not interested, or?
That is very difficult to say, They're busy with now. TV and mobile. These things are no. They are not even interested in sports also. Along with dramas, we used to play football, cricket, hockey, badminton. That time. But you see nowadays, nobody is taking any interest.
The family was the first to introduce horse cart and motor services between Shillong and Guwahati. The family owned 10 motor cars. Each vehicle had a name, like Rani and Maharani, as there was no number plate system that time. Even today, many studios in the city flaunt photographs of old motor cars and bullock carts taken by Kamakha Ghoshal, another great photographer.
He is a great photographer by documenting the whole thing of Shillong. He was appointed by the British government in those days, and unfortunately the earthquake came also in 1897. So just after earthquake, he took another set of photographs of those buildings. Before it is become before earthquake and after earthquake. So this become very famous, and unfortunately those albums are no longer. In 1887, from government we got a contract to run the Tonga service. So for that contract we have to give the security deposit 26,000, and the condition was like that: we have to keep 50 Tongas, 80 ponies, and all along GS Road between Shillong to Guwahati, 15 stables. So 15 stables mean that 80 pony is to be distributed in 15 places. When it will start from here, there will be change at Barapani. Then in these 15 stables, they have to change the horses and reach Guwahati in 9.5 hours. While coming back, it will 10.5 hours. So in between, there will be no delay, and if they attacked by the animals, that is wild animals, that is a different thing. But you have to maintain the things very strictly. So they started that way, and the cost of the per seat was 30 rupees. That is a tremendous thing. It is not for the common people. It is for the British people only. So, but for the other passengers, our farm, they used to run that bullock cart. Bullock cart, it used to take 3 days from here to Guwahati. So in that way it remains. And the present road, it was almost like this. There's no change. Of course, now it is for the motorable, so many changes are there, but before not to change. So that was the beginning of the Tonga service. Tonga service also ran along with this when it was introduced in 1906, that was also running for them. Later on, they wanted to increase the fare, but government didn't allow, so they left that business.
So Tonga service stopped when? Which year?
It was stopped with that 13-14 like that. So this is the thing.
So why the commoners were not allowed to travel?
I don't know why they didn't allow this thing.
It was meant for the officers.
No, it is not meant for the officers. Those who are affluent, they can go also. That is the thing. But and remarkable thing is that Swami Vivekananda, he came by that Tonga service. And the proprietor, that Khan Bahadur Haji Qasimuddin Mullah, he took care of all his fooding while coming from Shillong to Guwahati to Shillong. I think Swami Vivekananda had to halt for a day at Nongpo, most probably. What I heard.
You can tell us also about the little more details about that. After that.
After that, this is the car. One incident happened to my grandma when she got married. She was very young. While coming, she fell down from this motor vehicles. That is one remarkable thing in her life.
Well, this was started by your family.
My family, that Ghulam Haider.
Rani Maharani.
Achha, Rani Maharani. And beside Rani Maharani, there are so many names were there. And for that one, they had to make a big workshop for there. And another thing also, while charging the batteries of this one for the dynamo, so with that dynamo, our Shillong houses, shops, everything were lighted with electric light. That is the first lighting in Assam. Not in Meghalaya only, first lighting in Assam in 1887.
So how did they do it? Dynamo.
Dynamo. That is the things they have done.
So why this name Rani Maharani? Why
Because at that time there was no registration office. That's why it is named Rani Maharani like this. And in those days, I think it is later on also, when I was very young, say, what year I should say 50, 51, much after that also, I have seen so many cars belongs to Raja Maharajas. There were no number, but only name plate. Maharaja of Mayurbhanj, Maharaja of Darbhanga, Maharaja of Sirli, Bijli, like that. Later on it has become number. That is the thing.
What was the fare one has to pay?
Oh, that fare I cannot remember.
This was meant for all or only for the officers?
It is not. It is meant for all. But one thing, it is meant for school children also. Those European children, there's half price you have to give.
So
For Tonga also like that.
This is a non-stoppable jeep from Shillong, Guwahati.
Yes.
So in between there used to be stop.
No, they have to stop at Nongpo. Nongpo, what I have seen in my childhood days, I faintly remember that is a wonderful stopover for Europeans. Not only for Europeans, those who are influenced, they can also go to the restaurant. But mostly I have seen that Europeans, it is just like what you are seeing in the foreign pictures, nowadays the olden days pictures, that is the restaurant with tablecloths, with all this Mem Sahib sitting on this thing. A wonderful thing. It was like this, and it was seen, I have seen in the ferry between Pandu and Amingao, the upper portion where they, those who are having the higher tickets, they can go to that upper deck. There also it was such a neat, clean, beautiful restaurant, which is not available, which not seen in nowadays. During the construction of my studio, when it was constructed, it was decorated very simply, and I put the bigger glass. My studio is say 15 feet by 15 feet, almost 30 feet frontage. In one 15 feet frontage, I put the glass 8 by 8, each glass by 8 by 6. That means 8 by 12. The things. There's big glasses. Nobody dared at that time to put big glasses in Shillong. So in both says that 8 feet by 12 feet glasses. So from this front you can see everything to my studio. So Calcutta people, they came, they saw my studio, they thought that I will be able to develop their film. So while after making the studio, so the mistries, they used to come every day in the evening to my studios. And everybody, Khasi, they liked that studio and praising like that is very well done, very well done. Then one Khasi Mistri was there, his name was Bo. So he used to come daily and he used to drink a lot. So I told Babu, you are feeling very proud, no? That you have made like this. People are saying that the studio is very well done here. Then he, no, chish, it is a very bad word. Why bad word? You are praising him. No. Khasi shouldn't boast for himself. That the self-prouding is very bad in Khasis. It is never happened. My mother also, when she will hear that I boast with that one, that I have done legs, it is very bad customs among the Khasis. So that was 72 and now it is 2021. You see the difference amongst the Khasis. Now, hum bada sahab, na? Isn't it? So I remember Babu, that I learned from Babu not to feel proud for yourself. You know, if people are saying, oh, it is a wonderful photograph, this photograph. But nowadays still, you know, when I used to go for any serious photography, I thought I'll be caught in this time. I will be caught in this time. So this is the thing I always maintain, you know, that, till now I couldn't make any exhibition for me. And that is the people, those who are archiving my negatives, they are doing under the California University with collaboration with Guwahati University, mass communication director also. So 2 boys, they came, they stayed over here for 1 month, paying 30,000 hotel fees. But they're just recording my things and everything. So still I have to record Nagaland, Tripura and Meghalaya because it's a big collection I have got. They said it is more than 10,000. So I was thinking, my goodness, I didn't count this thing that it will be more than 1,000. This is the thing. So I am grateful to mass communication in the St. Anthony's College. They also came. They also sent my photographs. They are promoting me for this thing. So they are saying that, you see that I have captured so many things which is not available, particularly in Garo Hills.
So tell us about your Karus. What is happening to you?
Oh, Karus, you know, the meaning of the Karus is that, you know, people are so confused. Say, somebody told me, oh, you have named this one after your mother. I said, why mother? Well, your mother name is Ruiz. No, who tell you? Well, you have Karuz. You know Karuz, na? Karuz,
Yeah.
Then I said, no, not this thing. Then how do you come to know about this Karuz? Karuz is the Bengali word. Karujo means, it is not Karuz but Karujo. Karu means art and Jo means birth. Birthplace of art is Karuja. That is the thing. So it is, you know, when I had my studio in Calcutta, the same name I put in Calcutta. So while coming over here, we built our studio, then we I got it everything done in Calcutta and just came fit over there. And that is the beginning. I didn't have much money at that time because while living Calcutta at that time, I didn't get payment because of the agitation in all the factories. But otherwise, I should grateful to them. Gradually, they paid me everything. Though the factory is closed, so one day I thought that, Acha, though it is closed, I will just send a letter in their closed factory. After sending one letter, then they replied me that we are preparing your bill, everything, you will pay, the bill will be paid in due time. Please don't worry. So after 1 year opening this studio, I got this thing.
But other studios were thriving, and what actually happening to?
So at the beginning, that this is very embarrassing for me, When I was in Calcutta, I had my studio in a flat. Flat means my one room, my office room, one big hall, my veranda, it was my studio, and one was dark room, another was bedroom. That was my studio. No nameplate was outside, no nameplate was as advertised for anything. So I had got the relation with only for the art directors of the company. So I used to go to art directors, they used to come and they used to advise me how to do this thing. They bring their models. I used to take the photographs of models, fashion photography, like that. While coming over here, I made a counter. I have to stand behind the counter. That is very embarrassing, that I never stand like that, no. So I used to stay inside my house and put somebody in the counter. So the gentleman, the boy who was standing on the counter, he couldn't explain to the customer. Then I had to go and ask the customer what they want, what this thing. So gradually I found I got the charm, to talk to the customer, to know their difficulty and everything. That's my biggest experience I got from there. And you see, after coming up Meghalaya, one thing I gained, from the assembly. From assembly, the MLA, those who are coming, they always used to visit my studio. And by visiting this thing, I become a very good friend of them. I've got a very close friend, that is Bahaping. Then Captain Sama, he seldom comes, but other Garus, they used to come. That you come after much later, na? Before that, one Parsilana Marak was there. She was, what do you call it? She was murdered on the road things. You heard about her. She was a very good lady. She used to come and sit like this. So in that process, I gained, Ba Hoping, Ba Simeo, and all the speakers, they become very good friend of mine. Because in speakers, they don't have any things to do. Sometimes they used to have tea with me. I have to go and tea with them. Like this, we started this thing. So in that process, I become very friendly with the people. This is the thing.
Your studio, I think one part you have given for Italy.
Nowadays studio is in business is no business. Because everybody has the mobile phone, all the things. So we have to close, just reduce the area of the studio.
During the Bangladesh Liberation War, many Bengalis in Shillong extended help to the refugees and the Mukti Fauj members. The Hussains were actively involved in supplying aid to various camps. They also helped in organizing burials for unidentified bodies of Mukti Bahini members. Ahmed Hussain still has vivid memory of the violent days.
From Calcutta in 71, in the month of April, by that time it started, Bangladesh war. So when I came over here, I found that people are very agitating, people are very eager to join the everything over here. And unfortunately, what happened, in all the occasion in Shillong, anything is happening, we are always included in that organization and other thing. But when they started this Bangladesh Sangram Samiti, we were not invited and we were not included. And this really, it pained me very much, because my father was a very popular man, and he was so popular. He was, any organization is forming, he is always included, whether it is puja or puja committee or any other committee, he was always included. But we were not included, we were left out from that Sangram Samiti. So we just take it very serious. I mean, seriously means we felt very hurt. So we were just, we didn't, since we were not called, we were not participated in that way. But anyway, while going on, that is in the month of May or something like that, one Mrs. Anjali Lahiri, she was a social worker and she was the wife of Mr. Niran Lahiri. Later on, he was the Advocate General of Meghalaya. So she came one day and she was, actually she was our family friend. She wanted that we should also help. So we started collecting the old clothes for the people who is coming from Bangladesh. Then we started collecting all the old clothes and other things, and we just going to the camp and distribute this thing. That was our beginning. So while doing this thing, in the meantime, Mrs. Satyajivan Das, Mr. Satyajivan Das, he was a commissioner in those days, and his wife was an European, Irish lady. She also came one day. She told us that she also wanted to do something with us. So our family, then Mrs. Lahiri's family, Mrs. Satyajivan Das family, and at that time one journalist was there. His name was Nilkamal Datta. He was the correspondent for Amrita Bazar Patrika. Now Amrita Bazar Patrika is no longer, but he was very active with Amrita Bazar Patrika. And we just 4-5 people we joined without any name, without anything. So in the meantime, Mrs. Satyajivan Das, he got the aid from the Irish aid she could brought, and all the trucks, foreign trucks used to come and stayed in our compound. And either our family or Mrs. Das's son, we accompanied that truck to the camp and distribute this thing and come back to Shillong. In the process, then Mr. Nilkamal Datta, he introduced me to some Mukti Fauj. Then Mukti Fauj started. Then we get in touch with Mukti Fauj. I invited them to my house, and every evening they used to come and had a meeting in our house with their things. And later on, all the dignitaries, those who are coming from outside, outside Shillong, they used to have meeting in our house. And later on, I started going with the Mukti Fauj for the camp to distribute medicine and other things to Mukti Fauj. And sometimes they used to take me for their training camp. And gradually I was started going to the war front also. So in that way I just started going to war front and took the photographs. That is also a good experience, and good experience at the same time very pathetic experience also. I have seen somebody was shot dead in front of me and some young people. And one day what happened while this war was going on, Mr. Nilkamal Datta in the middle of the night rang me up that we have to do some job. So I said, what kind of job? He said that we have to, one Mukti Fauj died over here, you have to arrange for the funeral. Then I said, it's no problem, you please send the body to the Police Bazar Mosque and we'll take every care for burial. And next day he sent that person. We thought that he is a very strong, stout fellow, but unfortunately we found a small boy and he died that one wound, and still the blood is also coming out from his chest. So we felt very sad with such a young boy, he just died. So with the help of our Imam and other 2-3 fellows, we just buried them in Moprem Kabristan. So that time what happened, I don't know why I could take any photographs. And I didn't ask the gentleman who brought this body also what is the name. We were very hesitant because at that time there's no actually announcement that India started helping them. So everything is done very quietly. So as being a Muslim, frankly speaking, being a Muslim, we didn't dare to ask this thing. That is the mistake I have done. Mistake in the sense, saying the situation, we cannot express ourselves openly. So very quietly we have done everything. Mr. Nilkamal Datta told me also that you please do it very quietly. So I did it very quietly, and anyway, after 2-3 days, another body came. Then after, so the things was going on. After few days, started 4-5 like this. Lastly, it has become 6-7 at a time. But totally we have buried 52 people in Shillong. That is all the young boys. That is the things we have buried. And when I went to the war front, that is, we went to Dauki Bazar. Dauki Bazar we have went so many times and stayed there and helping them from the distance. But that day we went to the Dauki Bazar. Dauki Bazar, because we have to spend the night. That is the safest place. And though the Tamabil border was free, but it was not safe for anybody to stay over there. And Dauki Bazar was very safe for us, and we stayed there. And next day we just crossed the Jaflang Divide, and we got in the Jaflang tea estate, and after crossing some distance, then we found the manager's bungalow. Manager's bungalow was in a very depleted condition at that time. All glass are broken, doors are broken. Then from bungalow to the another small stream, when we went, it looks like stream, but it is also a small river you can cross. There's one bunker, and from bungalow to that bunker there's one trench. knee-deep trench where we just crossed. We didn't have crawled that time. We crossed that river. Then we walked another distance. Then we found that Mukti was there waiting over there, and the gentlemen, those who are taking for gentlemen, I mean Mr. Kayas Chaudhary, Mr. Harsh Chaudhary, Raunak Chaudhary, and one gentleman was there, I forgot his name. He was a Hindu. He was with us, so they had their meeting. So in the meantime, I started taking photographs here and there, and after sometimes all the Mukti Fogs in a distance, they took their position, and one fellow I found that he started cutting the grass. So I was thinking that this fellow has taken position, that fellow is cutting the grass. When the firing will start, he will be no more. So while doing this thing, I was while they have taken position, and then I started taking the photographs from different angle. But Kayas Chaudhary warned me that don't go near to that war front. You take the photographs from a distance. So I started taking the photographs with the shade of one big tree. So unfortunately, I just went a little ahead. Then I found one sound is there. I was standing near a bamboo bush. So one sound from the one tick tuck is sound. Always the gun was there, but when I heard this thing, so then one fellow, all of a sudden he jumped and just pulled me down to the ground, and he just started telling me, says Suya Porin, Udvanna. By that time the firing started. So I was the. So how long it was started, I don't remember. I thought will be no end. After sometimes it end. Then I crawled and took shelter by the side of the tree. Then later on we found that fellow who was cutting the grass, he has got the connection with the Pak Army. He has got the one rope in his hand, and another was tied in where the Pak Army was there, one tin. So he just, when he saw everybody is taking position and other things, he just informed by pulling the string, and just they got the sound over there, and they started firing. So that was the thing, it happened. So while we came again, we came back to that bunker. We stayed there for a while. So in bunker there were two pitchers full of water. I was feeling very thirsty, and I took one assistant who came from Calcutta. He wanted to take the photographs of picture of war front. So I gave him my another camera, and I am carrying two cameras with me. So in a bag, so I just, in spite of all this firing, I just carried my camera and came back. So that boy also was returned. I didn't ask where is the camera. Then one fellow, he was returning from there. He told that some camera I found, this is the camera. So while firing, he just left the camera and started running. So anyway, and he was much stronger than me, tall, this thing. He wanted to have a glass of water. I said, no, it is the glass, this water is for the Mukti Fauj, not for you. So we left that way that day. That is the one incident happened.
You can tell us about the memorable photo.
Yes, I have got this photograph.
About the memorable photo of the soldier you took from the jeep.
Yes, yes.
That
Oh,
is-
that is, Acha, that is one occasion. Started shouting, Ahmed Bhai. So I saw who is that man wearing lungi and sitting in the back of the jeep, and other with his uniform. So without, at that time my reflex also worked so well. And before I hear him, I just pick up my camera and took the photographs. So I had a doubt whether I have taken this photograph in focus or not. Later on, after developing, I found that really it is a wonderful photograph I have taken. So then he just went with that one, and after taking, then I had to stay at Sylhet that day, that I remember. So many things happened. Then I took the photographs of that. He was a brigadier or Brigadier Osmani, na? Brigadier Osmani's bungalows was also destructed. That was also I took the photographs. So many photographs I took in 17th December.
Earlier you said about you meeting him again.
Oh, meeting? No, I couldn't be. Actually, what happened, then he came back. Yes, after coming back to Shillong, then he came to me. Then he was a jolly good fellow. When he used to come, he used to sit in this drawing room and make the whole thing so lively that everybody knew that, his name was Captain Anwar. In those days, that Captain Anwar has come. He will go to my kitchen also. So he was so joyful and so lively he used to stay. Then after that he came 2-3 times to Shillong. He brought his brother, his brother's wife also. So after that I couldn't meet. Then what happened, so many things happened to Bangladesh. In the meantime, people were coming over here. I used to tell all the stories. I asked about Captain Anwar, but nobody knew about Captain Anwar. One fellow, he came, he told me that he knew Captain Anwar and he will tell Captain Anwar about me. So I gave him my number. So it was, during they honored us in 2012 for a friend of Bangladesh. So at that time I asked so many people that where is Captain Anwar. In the last party they said Captain Anwar is coming today. But that party also I couldn't meet him. So I feel very bad I couldn't meet that fellow. So after that, 2012 December, I went to my village, and in the village while I was reached there, after reaching there, one phone call came. I just responded to the call, and when I said hello, he said that I'm speaking for Bangladesh. Then I said, who is speaking, please? Then he told me, you're Captain Anwar. How are you? I tried to meet you when I went to Dhaka. He said, yes, I know that you searched me like anything, but I was busy at that time, I couldn't meet you. So when you are coming to Bangladesh, he asked me, whenever you come, be my guest and stay with me, I will be very happy. I said, okay, next time when I will go, I will meet you. So I asked him, Acha, by the way, I am asking you that Captain Anwar, what is your position? He told me, I have already retired. When I retired, I was Major General. So then he said, no, but I am always a Captain Anwar to you. Please call me Captain Anwar. So this was the last thing. And in between also, I tried, he also rang me up, but now I heard that he is no more. Many 4-5 work front I attended. And lastly, you know, in 16 December, Kailash Chaudhary told me that we are going on 16 December, so let us go. Yes, anyway, we didn't expect that the 16 December was the winning day. Huh? So while crossing the Dauki bridge, Kailash Chaudhary jokingly asked me, "Ye Ahmad bhai, are you afraid?" I said, yeah, no. But in the morning, at that time, TV was not there, radio was there. I heard the radio that America, the Seventh Fleet, so they're going to arrange the Seventh Fleet. So at that time I got a little hesitancy whether to go or not. So anyway, while after crossing Dauki, I didn't expect that it will enter Bangladesh. So after crossing Tamavil, they just is going ahead of this thing. The bridge was broken. So by this broken bridge, we have crossed. Again, another bridge was completely broken. We took the jeep through the river and reached the other end of the river bank. Then we reached the Khadim Nagar. While going to the Khadim Nagar, we saw that the Pak army, they started making roti in some that peach drum. They flattened the peach drum and making a tawa like thing, and over there they were just baking their rotis. But the roti was just started burning, but we couldn't see any soldier. So from there they started flying from this place. Then we reached Khadim Nagar. When we reached Khadim Nagar, at that time we see that all the bullets are scattering here and there. So we reached Khadim Nagar. Then we reached it. Kailash Chaudhary took everybody to the manager's bungalow. So when we reached manager's bungalow, beautiful bungalow, but saddened to see that the one wall is completely broken, and that is broken actually during the shell. But the shell was hit so bad that all the wall collapsed. So anyway, we took shelter over there. Then in the evening, we started going to Sylhet. But before reaching the MC's college, we were stopped by some people, by soldiers, our soldiers, BSF soldiers. So they didn't allow to go to this thing. So while returning, we came to know that by that time, Bangladesh has already, the Pak army already surrendered. So we spent the whole night in Khadim Nagar, just celebrating the winning of Bangladesh.
Over time, the quaint hill city has turned chaotic, and the vibrant cultural scenario here has now become monotonous. Shillong has metamorphosed to become more Western, but old Shillong still lives in their memory and Ahmed Hussein's photographs.